Thousands of years ago, humans had no bathrooms, no bedrooms, no doors, no private rooms, but they still had secrets. They still needed to bathe, to hide, to love, to give birth, and to protect moments that were never meant for everyone's eyes. So how did ancient humans create privacy in a world without walls? At that time, a small group of humans lived near a forest, close to a river, inside a temporary camp. At night, they gathered around the fire. The fire kept them warm. It protected them from wild animals. And in the middle of darkness, it gave them a little courage. But beyond the reach of that firelight, a mysterious world began. There was fear, there was darkness, and somewhere inside that darkness, there was privacy. When the sun rose, life in the camp began again. Someone shaped stone tools. Someone collected dry wood. Someone sat quietly with a child in their arms. Everyone stayed close to one another, because in that world, being alone could mean danger. Still, even then, humans understood one thing. Some things are better done alone. One morning, a young man quietly stood up. He did not explain where he was going. He simply picked up a small stick and began walking away from the camp. He did not go too far. The forest was dangerous, but he went far enough to disappear behind the trees. That was his bathroom. No walls, no door, no water tap, only distance. A quiet place in nature became a private place. They moved away from food, fire, sleeping areas, and water sources to take care of their personal needs. To clean themselves, they used leaves, grass, water, sand, stones, or whatever nature gave them. It was not modern, it was not comfortable, but it was survival. And the others in the group understood. When someone walked away like that, you did not follow, you did not stare, because privacy was not made of walls. Privacy was made of understanding. Later in the day, the group moved toward the river. The river was one of the most important places in their lives. There, they drank water, washed their hands, cleaned their bodies, washed their tools, and sometimes cleaned their wounds. A woman sat by the river washing dirt from her hands. An old hunter cleaned dried blood from a stone weapon. A child splashed cold water on his face and smiled. Back then, the river was not just water. The river was their bathroom, their mirror, their way of staying clean. For them, being clean did not mean smelling nice. It meant not getting sick. It meant keeping wounds from rotting. It meant protecting the body from insects and infection. Nature gave them what they needed, and they learned how to use it. By afternoon, a young woman walked behind a large rock near the camp. She needed to fix the animal skin wrapped around her body. There was no changing room, no curtain, but the rock became her wall. A tree became her cover. A shadow became her private room. That was ancient privacy. They may not have known the word privacy, but they understood when to look away. They understood when to let another person have their own space. And maybe human respect began there. Some private moments were deeper. A woman during menstruation, a mother giving birth, a sick child in pain, an injured hunter covered in blood. These were not things for everyone to watch. These were moments of care. When a woman gave birth, she may not have been alone. Trusted people may have stayed beside her. An experienced woman, a sister, a mother, and the rest of the group stayed away because privacy did not always mean being alone. Sometimes privacy meant being safe. Then night returned. The fire rose again. Children fell asleep. The elders stared into the darkness. Strange sounds came from deep inside the forest, and near the fire, two people quietly looked at each other. Maybe they were partners. Maybe they loved each other. Maybe they had shared food together, survived danger together, spent cold nights beside the same fire. They had no bedroom, but they had the night. They had darkness. They had distance. They had trust. Slowly, they moved away from the firelight, not too far because danger was still out there, but far enough to be away from the eyes of others. That was their private time. Ancient humans also felt attraction, love, jealousy, connection, family bonds. Their love was not surrounded by modern houses, beds, doors, or curtains, but it was still deeply human. They chose each other, stayed beside each other, had children, built families, and they protected those intimate moments inside darkness, silence, and distance. Still, in a small group, nothing stayed completely hidden. Everyone knew who was close to whom, everyone knew who was sick, everyone knew who was pregnant, everyone knew which child carried the future of the group, so their private life was hidden in one way but connected to everyone in another, because the birth of a child was not only the story of two people, it was the hope of the entire group. Late at night, everyone fell asleep. Only one person remained beside the fire. He sat quietly, staring into the flames. Maybe he was thinking about someone who had died. Maybe he was afraid of tomorrow's hunt. Maybe he was thinking about the person he loved. Maybe there were thoughts inside him that he could never say out loud. That was the deepest privacy of all. Not behind the trees, not beside the river, not inside the darkness, but inside the human mind. Ancient humans had no diary, no phone, no locked room, but they had thoughts, memories, fear, shame, love, and dreams, and that was their secret life. Thousands of years later, humans built walls, they built houses, bathrooms, bedrooms, doors. But privacy was not born then. Privacy had already been born inside the human heart. The day one person understood that another person needed space of their own, privacy began. The world of ancient humans was open, but their lives were not completely public. Because before bathrooms, there was nature. Before bedrooms, there was night. Before doors, there was trust. And before walls, there was silent respect. So ancient humans leave us with one powerful truth. Some moments in life are shared with the group, and some moments belong only to ourselves, to the people we love, and to the quiet world inside our soul.